So I'm just going to make sure and put the info in the YouTube live, and then we will get started here. One sec. One sec. Hello, hello. Sometimes the computer is like so slow. It's like, is it doing anything? Whoops. Don't you love it when I say oops? It's like, oops, that was not supposed to be there. Okay. Okay, 1 second. What is, okay. Okay, we're good. So we are live on YouTube. I put all the info there as well now, so we are good to go. And now let me go back here. Let me come back to my window and get started here. What am I doing? I'm recording to the cloud. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And it is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring forward tools, support, resources, special guests, to give you wisdom, give you techniques, to give you tools, give you support, give you processes, etc., to help you raise your vibration, help you thrive in this reality, help you create the reality of your dreams, and so much more. Whatever, there's so much that goes on these calls. So thank you so much for being here. And I do hope that these shows are helpful to you. If you're not a subscriber yet, please do subscribe so that you do not miss any of the live or replays. Right. So all of season 31 is on YouTube, and a few previous seasons are also there. So there's lots of content for you to take a look at, to learn from, to receive, and especially the energetic processes that we do on the calls. Please do take advantage of those. Right. So we're going to get started because I'm so excited about this conversation that we're going to have today. And it's not just a conversation. There's always, processes and energy, frequency, vibrations that are being transmitted during these calls. So my good friend Angie LaRue, Rev.Angie LaRue, is back with us today, and we're going to be talking about health, our greatest treasure. And this is the Frequency Medkit Show. So be ready to be wowed about the frequencies, processes, codems. We're going to talk about all of that and more. So we're going to learn from Angie how she beat a bug so nasty that she could hardly get a key in a lock due to full body shaking and was on the verge of losing consciousness. And how does it manifest in our daily life, right? Learn that we have divinely inspired tools beyond the ordinary to keep our immune system shiny and responsive and our health so excellent. Learn to have the right tools on hand at the first hint of something coming on. Learn how your thoughts and emotions build or reduce your immune system's effectiveness and rapid response. So we are talking about health on this show, but we are not doctors. Okay, so we will not be giving medical advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, and to give you some support and resources and tools and wisdom, etc. But we are not medical doctors. Okay, so for those of you who don't know Angie, she was on our show. She's been on our show a couple of times now, for a few seasons, and we love having her on the show. She is a master Crystologist, a healer, an ordained Reverend, a medical intuitive, a medical innovator, a psychic, a teacher, a Reiki master, and manufacturer. So all that and so much more. On December 9th, I'll just briefly tell you a little bit. On December 9th, 2011, Angie had a radical spontaneous awakening and Kundalini awakening while on a business call. And then within 3 months of that, her life in Hawaii abruptly ended, and she was thrust out onto the road to learn with spirit as her teacher with only 2 suitcases. She was reeling from the full explosion of psychic abilities and the sudden awareness of subtle energy. So full-blown empathic skills with heavy cording to many others with the ability to see multidimensionally. It turned her life into utter chaos, dissolving her previous life and 20-year marriage in a rapid domino effect. A decade later, she has integrated all aspects of herself and is deeply dedicated to service through love. Her services now include Crystology, healing, psychic readings, Pleiadian energy transmissions, esoteric teaching, remote viewing. She also manufactures tools and items to assist those on the path to higher levels of consciousness, and many items which help health, evolution of consciousness, and increase the vibration of house and office, and of course, which means the planet and the collective as well. So please join me in welcoming Angie to our show. Angie, welcome back to the show. So glad you're here.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. And you are so good at reading bios. That was such a big mouthful. And you just smoothly rolled that out. Well done.
Thank you. And thank you for giving me a short version.
Yes.
That helps. So we are talking about health, and that's why I said at the very beginning, we are not medical doctors. I don't think you are, Angie. I'm definitely not. So please keep that in mind, everyone, right? So this is just, we mostly talk about energy, but some, stuff, health related stuff, but we are not doctors, saying that again and again and again, right? But I'm excited to talk about what happened to you and in the past couple of months, and like what was going on and what did you do to help yourself with that? And also at the same time, I know I was like, I was asked like a million questions at once. It's like so much, right? But I just really want to quickly just talk about what happened, right? And then we'll get into more of the crux of the conversation. How's that? Because I'm intrigued, right? I'm intrigued to know, like, what was going on that you were so, I'm not going to say the word ill, but you had this nasty bug that you had a full body shaking. Like, what was going on?
I was violently ill. I wasn't just a little bit ill. Best as I can figure it out, I got it at the line in the post office. And it set in quick and hard. I was actually with a client. When it set in, I had no idea. And I closed my eyes to drop into psychic space to examine one of their organs for him, and was suddenly reeling backwards, about to lose consciousness. And as I came back into my body, it started shaking, and it shook and it shook and it shook. So I wrapped that session up. I realized I was getting sick, and I still had to drive 2 towns away to get home. And in the time that it took me to, shut my computer down, shut all these lights down, get out and shut the building down, get out to my car, I was in such bad shape. I wasn't sure I should drive. I was shaking so hard it was about 8 attempts to get the key into the door, to unlock the door, and another 5 attempts to get it into the ignition. And as long as I kept my eyes open, I wasn't experiencing vertigo. But every time I had to close my eyes for just a second, it was like I was falling.
Wow. Yeah, not safe.
Not safe. So I got home. My roommate and dear friend had to help me do everything. And I took 2 solfeggio plates, and I'll show you these.
I love her room. That's her office, and where she does healing and creates all her wonderful products. It's so beautiful.
So this is a solfeggio plate. All right. This has been recorded like a cassette tape to 741 hertz. So you guys might want to know about 741 hertz. It's antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral. And I took 2 of these. 1 would have been sufficient, but I was in such bad shape. I put them in the bathtub, and I let these charge the water. Our skin is our largest organ, right? And it's what we also have the most of. And so my theory is if I could open my skin up, and I mean, I was just shaking so hard. I had such a bad fever setting in. If I could open my pores and absorb that frequency, that it would help me. Now, in addition, I took my phone and my headphones in, and I took a crystal array, and I took some Codums with me, and I listened to those. I closed my eyes. I listened to those. I did take an ivermectin, and I took 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C and a Zycam, which is a zinc tablet. So that's what I did. I got out of the bathtub about an hour later, and I felt fine.
Hmm.
Got dressed,
Wow.
went upstairs, and my roommate's like, you have color in your cheeks again. You don't have that green color. You don't seem to be reeling. You're not shaking. Are you okay? And I was like, I feel fine. Let's give it a couple hours. I literally feel well again.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so we did. I still felt well. We decided to wait until the next day. Felt great. It never reoccurred. Whatever that was. We think it was COVID because the next day, my neck and all across here ached so bad I could hardly turn my head. It was pretty intense on that. Just it hit the muscles really strongly. Start to finish, 3 hours.
Wow.
Start to finish, and it was violent.
Wow.
That's a
I
great.
was sick for 3 weeks. Holy smokes.
That's a great question, Linda. I think the reason I really wanted to do the whole bath and, submerge up to my neck is our skin is our largest organ. And in a hot bath, we're opening all those pores up and we're sucking everything in. And we're also allowing all the bad things to leave as well. So I think that's why I wanted a full bath versus a foot bath. Now, I did do an ion foot bath a couple days later because my lymph system backed up a little bit because that was an epic battle that was had in the bathtub. And there was a lot of dead cells. And so my lymph system needed a little bit of help to just get rid of all, the swords and shields and armor and all that, clean up the battlefield.
Absolutely. Wow. And so she could have just done the foot bath, but it would have taken longer for the healing to take place, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was actually scary, to be honest with you. It hit so violently and so fast.
Yeah.
And I really was losing consciousness anytime I shut my eyes. And it's hard to take care of for yourself if you're passing out.
Absolutely. So the solfeggio plates are made of orgone, right? I think
they are made of resin, a type of basically a byproduct of tree resin. Black iron oxide is in here, and then the top. This is all quartz crystals, and it's actually solid across there. You can't see, but it's solid quartz crystals. The quartz crystals output that 741 hertz signal. Give me one moment.
Yeah, so 741 hertz. You said to pay attention to that. So what? I know it's a frequency, but what does it relate to?
741 is antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral.
Right.
It also helps open the third eye, and it works really great if you have allergies. I have a lady who couldn't get near anyone who had a cat, much less go to their house or anything. And she got a small one.
Cute.
Keeps it tucked in her bra, and she now has her own cat.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So do you make these and sell them, Angie?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
What I recommend with these is personally contact me. They're not on
these are not part of the package. Yeah, exactly.
And they're not on the website either. So what I did is that was so effective, that was so powerful, mixed with the Codums and the crystal arrays. So it was kind of doing all of that together. That's amazing. It literally felt wrong to be the only person in the world who owned one. So I made about 8. So I have about 8 of them. Personally contact me and I can get you one. Or I can get the smaller ones that you can use as an IV drip.
Awesome. I love that. I love the cute little ones for sure.
Yeah.
Because they're more portable as well, right?
Yeah, you just tuck them in your pocket or your bra, and it's like an IV drip of that signal, and it's highly supportive.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love tools, and that's, obviously I love tools because that's what we're talking about. Tools, processes, energy work, right? Energy healing, energy work, etc. I love all that because it makes a difference, and frequencies absolutely make a difference. So let's talk a little bit about your history with healing. And especially, since you're talking about those solfeggio plays, but you're talking about the codums as well, you're talking about frequency, etc. So what is your history with healing that brought you to discover these tools, these techniques, these resources that you now offer to all of us, in some format?
It goes back many lifetimes, actually. But in this lifetime, as a child, I grew up on a farm, and my mother used to always make me go be with the sick animals and the pregnant animals. And by the time I was a teenager, I got very frustrated about that. And so I demanded to know one day why she always made me do that. And she said that we don't have the money to take all these animals to the vet, and they get better with you, and they have better pregnancies when you're there. So just go be with them, love them, talk to them, do whatever it is you do. That's your job in
So
the
you're a
family.
natural healer.
Yeah. So which, after the awakening of consciousness in 2011, then spirit actually trained me. But the natural knowledge was somehow there anyway. And so then that got built on in, mental constructs and certain, to be safe, this and this has to be done, and you need to do this, and then also this, and this is what you do if you run into this situation, and this is how you close it up, and blah blah blah. And so I got taught all the formalities, which are very, very effective. And when I became a psychic surgeon, quite accidentally, my very first client was a Western medicine doctor, an MD, and I did brain surgery on him. And that's how I learned I was a psychic surgeon, and that I could literally make differences inside of the body, not just, colds and flus and sprains and breaks, but, a whole nother level, of medicine. And I believe that's what we're here to do, is help one another. We are all one thing. And so if we're all little cells in the body of God, I'm one little cell, and I'm just helping the little cells around me. And then when I need help, they're helping me. And, we're a community, right?
Absolutely. I totally agree. And that's how, if we were to look at that, it's something I've been also looking into recently as well. But all of the cells, they talk to each other, right? So all of the cells in your body talk to each other. So all of the cells in the body of God talk to each other. So we are all connected. We're, there's always communication, transmission happening all the time, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I just saw a question pop up about helping to open the third eye. In the package, there's some of that stuff that will actually help do that. But even just using those helps, because that's a natural state of wellness, having all these chakras open and flowing. And, the more wellness we have, the cleaner and the clearer we are. And this has to do with psychologically, emotionally, dumping old baggage, all of that. The larger our field gets, and the field is actually powered by the chakras. So all these systems work, so above, so below, right?
Yeah. And even though some people, in the industry are saying that chakras are no longer working, that's not really true. That's not actually accurate, but
What?
Okay, that's a belief system.
I'm sorry. Don't mind.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about frequency, right? So I love talking about frequency and learning about frequency, talking about frequency, transmitting frequencies. I love that. So how do frequencies help our immune systems to fight better against colds and flus and viruses and, anything that is not healthy for us?
Okay. So everything that exists vibrates, and anything that vibrates is vibrating at a certain frequency being the distance between two peaks, right? That's what's kind of determining in a sine wave. That's how we measure frequency. Different frequencies do different things. Some frequencies are good for us. Some frequencies are bad for us, right? 528 hertz is very, very, very similar to the energy that comes out of our heart. And it also helps heal our DNA, right? 60 hertz, which is the same frequency that's put out by our handheld devices, our computers, our cell phones, our microwaves, like all of our electronic devices, 60 hertz is the same as the flu, right? So we're kind of living in an environment that's not good for us already. And so we kind of need better frequencies in our lives than we ever have needed before, right? Certain rocks and crystals have highly supportive ones. Selenite, which is a very inexpensive crystal, is 244.5 megahertz. It's the second highest naturally occurring frequency in the world. Highest one is the dew on the petal of roses at 320 megahertz. These frequencies help evolve our consciousness. So there's frequency sets that really help our bodies. There's frequency sets that really help our emotions and emotional and psychological stability. There's frequency sets which help evolve our consciousness. And then there's very specific frequencies. So if we want to get into, like the rife frequencies and stuff like that, there's specifically frequencies that mold doesn't like. It can't thrive near that frequency. There's frequencies that reduce tumors. There's ones that help support things like Lyme disease. And so what's really happening in our world, especially since World War II, is we're getting toxified. This comes from lots of things. I mean, yes, industrial runoff and stuff like that, but there's also very deliberate toxification and poisoning that's happening. And so we are in an environment now that is far less healthy than our great-great-grandparents, right? And so we're having to support ourselves in a lot of ways that we haven't had to do. On our food is having less nutrition in it. And so we're not being able to get as much of the goodness out of life as we were in previous generations. And then we're swamped with all this electromagnetic pollution too, which causes cellular damage on us, right? And this is just a tiny little window, but basically there's just poisons all around us. And so we have to be smarter. And we have to spend more time thinking about our health, which was just such a natural gift in so many cases before. Now it's something we almost have to earn because the way things are, they're not set up for us to really thrive. And this is where frequency becomes a major key component in being well. And I have to cough again.
That's okay. Go ahead. I was going to say, normally, frequencies, we use frequencies a lot with emotional healing, but definitely physical healing as well, physical conditions. And you mentioned a little bit about what cancers and things like that, but it's also like, let's move into like the crystal arrays that you work with, right? The crystal arrays can also help with organs at the physical level as well, reverse damage and heal. And I know you used crystal arrays as well when you were sick for those 3 hours, right?
You bet. So crystals they're just amazing. They restructure things back into the right order. That's just what they do. That's just naturally what their species does, is creates ordered structure. And from a crystal's point of view, their quartz crystal is carbon-based, and we are carbon-based. And so from a crystal's point of view, we're a liquid crystal. And so we are something they can restructure very easily. Well, when we're very sick, we are in disorder, right? Our system's out of balance in a lot of different ways. And they help support and rebring balance back. So there's one crystal array I keep on my computer, my phone, my laptop, every electronic device I have. And that's called the Sun Medicine Wheel. And it is just such a great, broad spectrum, helpful, absolutely everything. And I just got sick again. And I think it's probably because I had gotten COVID just 2 weeks earlier. And I just got like a little flu virus thing, which I was able to kick in 2 days, except for this cough.
Mhm.
So, Alara, if we had been scheduled for Sunday, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Mhm.
And part of that I noticed, because I got to play with this a little bit. In the first one with COVID, I got on it immediately. Like when I first got that first symptom, I was on it doing everything. This time it came on really slowly. And so I didn't respond for like 2 days.
Mm.
Now, when I listened, so I was about at an 8 on sickness. And when I listened to the Sun Medicine Wheel Circle, it dropped me to about a 5, which was very, very nice. So, early action,
Mhm.
very, very key in
Absolutely.
the outcome and how long something is going to last.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. And so you're talking about the sun circle thing. So that would be like the general health codum just to keep you healthy, well maintained.
Actually for that, I would go with the Palladian codum. So the Palladian codums are very specific. It's a specific frequency. Crystal arrays can be a series of frequencies. With the Palladian codums, there's a codum for a sore throat. There's a codum for menstrual cramps. There's a codum for vibrant health. Blah, 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 blah. They're very, very specific. And there's one for general health and well-being.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And that's a good one.
And that can help us just to, fight off before. It's more preventative than anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. So there's a lot of people with their hand raised and some questions in the chat. We are going to be taking live caller questions, right? I know we like to do that here, take live caller questions. So if you do have a question for Angie, you can raise your hand or type a question in the chat. And so you already mentioned how crystal arrays are different than codums. And we talked about codums in the past in other shows. We'll talk about them, of course, more throughout this show as well. So with these crystal arrays and the codums, can people just have them running in the background, or do they have to be consciously, working with them?
So the way our reality matrix works, we need to bring our attention and our focus to whatever it is. Right? Whatever we're doing, we need to be 100% present and really be a part of it. Those things that we're not a part of, that are just playing in the background, we either miss the goodness of them or we end up just getting programmed by them. So we get programmed by all those commercials and all of that stuff that's playing in the background. And we end up buying lots of stupid stuff we don't want, right? So, if you're not feeling well anyway, you want to lay down or you want to sit in your favorite chair. Play these when you do that. Be present with it. You have nothing better to do anyway. You're feeling miserable. Just play them. Listen to them. Be present with it. Yeah. And with the codums, you're going to be an active part of it. You're going to be saying activate, enhance, amplify, expand. It's all in it. You don't have to worry about it. I prompt you to do it all. With the crystal arrays, you don't do anything. It's a guided meditation. It's beautiful. You'll probably fall asleep in the middle of it. You're still going to get all the goodness from it.
Yeah, awesome. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how our thoughts, our emotions can affect our immune system and can hinder even our immune system.
Mm-hmm. You bet. So just as we're a cell in God, our body is made up of cells. So think of us as a little universe, and we have, all these different solar systems and inside of us, right? And our brain is kind of the king of the galaxy or the queen of the galaxy. And so whatever the mood is of our king or queen, our leader of the universe, that message goes out to the entire universe. and it's going to affect all the different civilizations and neighborhoods and everything else in the body. And so if we're thinking good things, and if the body starts feeling sick, and we're like, oh, I'm going to take care of you, it's going to be okay. Right away, when we take that, parental, motherly, supportive stance with our body, I've got your back. It's okay. We're going to be okay. Immediately at that point, it can relax a little bit. It feels supported, and it doesn't go into any kind of crisis because it's having a problem that's being ignored, or it's having a problem and we're thinking bad about it. Oh, great. Now I'm going to get sick. Right. Like that's a really negative thought, like, and it's not its fault. It just happened. Right. And so when we think those loving, supportive, wonderful, gentle thoughts to our body, we give it the support it needs to do the best that it can do. We're not in its way, and we're supporting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like we have to be aware of what our thoughts are, what our feelings are when stuff is going on, right? We can't just automatically go into reaction. We have to be conscious of like, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? I know in the past when I used to get sick or start to get sick, it's like right then and there, it's like, nope. Because it's like usually like, I don't have time for this. I'm good. We're just gonna not do this right now, And so as soon as I had the awareness, like, oh, I'm getting a sore throat or whatever, automatically I would talk to my body. I would talk to the sore throat. And I'm like, no, we're fine. We're healthy. We're doing great. We don't have time for this. Right? That was always my answer. I don't have time for this. Right. But it is about recognizing that something is changing, something is happening, being aware, being present with it instead of constantly being in your head and being distracted and feeling chaotic, right?
And, in the Codem packages, there's a Codem in there to help you have higher bodily awareness to keep from producing things like diabetes and high cholesterol, right? It's be more tuned into your body when you can tell something is going wrong and be able to react to that before it becomes a big problem like diabetes or whatever the thing is. You'll start getting the hints and the information, and you want to act on that from a curious place, right? Like, I wonder what that means. Let's see if we can figure that out. Is this a vitamin or nutritional thing? Is this something else? As opposed to getting paranoid and hypochondriac,
Yeah.
So, that middle path always with everything, but it's nice to have good tools to help us. If we don't even know the path is there, then
yeah, that's another story for sure. So I just want to share really quickly. Manisha just sent me a message in the chat that she had bought your package last time you were on, and it had a codem for cholesterol. And she said that she listened to it a couple of times, and then she went for her blood test, and her levels were much lower. And so she just hadn't had the opportunity to share that with me, but she wanted to let you know and everybody else know that that was the effect that she received from it. That her cholesterol levels were lower than what they were before she started listening to the codem for cholesterol. So that's awesome. Thank you, Manisha, for sharing that.
Yeah, it just brings this awareness up in you of, oh, I'm not going to eat that. I'm going to eat this other thing. Or, oh, I think I'm short on magnesium. Or just, you just kind of get these little spurts of wisdom that you can react on and help yourself. And it can become so natural, you don't even notice that you just start getting better.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Making these micro wiser decisions.
So do you want to take some questions? Because we have questions from people.
Yes.
In the chat and with people to hand raised. So there was a question in the chat from I want to say Michaela, but it's Michelle. And she said, what would you recommend for Candida albicans? I've had it systemically for several decades, please. And she says, I sing, tone to my body and stoke it lovingly. I'm going to say stroke it lovingly. My body laps it up. Good. Toning is definitely helpful. And loving your body, caring for your body.
That's an imbalance in the yeast, and a certain type of yeast has gotten really out of balance. If I was in your shoes, I would begin by bringing in things like probiotics, biotics, things like that, and try to get those levels in the gut and the intestinal center balanced back out again. Normally, our own body's biota will keep down things like candida. So, but a lot of times what happens is if we had surgeries or we go on antibiotics or stuff like that, a lot of the medicines they give us completely wipe out our body's natural flora and fauna and, you know, the natural biotics in there. And if we don't rebuild them or we don't get them rebuilt right, we end up with yeast taking over. So that's probably what I'd look at first for you.
Awesome. Thank you. We're going to go to Melinda. Melinda, you want to unmute yourself?
Wow, thank you so much. This is so wonderful for me. I very seldom get the chance to attend any of these anymore, but I felt really led to come here. My main problem I've been having issues with are the two things you were talking about at the very beginning. So it seems synchronicity, and I'm wondering what you might be offering here for me. So I'm having an issue with really bad vertigo, as well as with allergic hives all over. Vertigo gets triggered if I lay on my backside or my left side. And it's so severe that I can't drive. I have to stay in the house, and I'm walking and holding onto the walls and stuff so that I don't fall over. And yet when I'm not having the vertigo, my health feels better than ever in my entire life.
Mm. So what I'm getting for you is getting two things, kind of a pinched nerve somewhere. And I'm also getting that enough oxygen is not getting to your brain. When was your last chiropractor visit?
It's been a while, and I've been wondering about that some. Okay. I've had some better luck with just clearing seemed to be helping more than getting chiropractic treatment, but yeah.
I'm getting some pinching happening, and also a lack of oxygen to the brain.
Can you tell if the pinching is in my neck or in my middle of my low back?
Initially my impression was it was in the neck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Melinda. Awesome. That's really interesting that you can tap into that so quickly, Angie. I love that. Let's see. I'm just seeing if there's anything else here in the chat before we go. Somebody was asking in the chat how you first got connected to the Pleiadians.
Yeah, that was a gentleman who came to me who said he had some implants he wanted me to remove. And at that time, I didn't even believe in those things. And my higher self, he said, you have the ability, look, right? Don't decide, look, investigate. And I found two. And so I scheduled them to come in and have them removed. And during that process, while I was in surgery, I actually found a third one. But there wasn't time to take that out. So I needed to schedule him for a second visit to remove that third one. And when I went to start telling him about the third one, his eyes kind of rolled up and turned a little odd, and a new voice came out and said, hello, Angela, this is Osan, and I'm a Pleiadian, and we have some information we would like to give you before you make a decision. After you review the information, you can make any decision you would like. And he went, poof. I totally received a telepathic package. I opened it up and I discovered that it was a soul agreement, and that was his future 12th dimensional self, and that there was a soul agreement that he would be the mouthpiece. There was also, I was showed exactly how it was put into him, who all had, it was kind of an open mic, and a lot of beings had access to it. But anyway, making a very long story short, I decided it was not my business, and I just left it alone. And that began a relationship between me and Osan, the 12th dimensional Pleiadian, which has led to all kinds of interesting things, including my own implants, and certainly all the codums as well. So it was an accidental development is how that began.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Linda, you want to unmute yourself? Now you can ask a different question.
Yeah, I will. Hi, Angie.
And
You heard us earlier. I was talking to Lara. Yeah. What about teeth and gums? How does that work when you're having problems with it?
Yeah. So, and I don't know if this is appropriate or not, and I apologize if it's not. There's like lots of things we can't talk about nowadays.
Oh, okay.
But one thing that dentists and dental hygienists are reporting is that 2 years of running around with masks has created lots and lots of teeth and gum problems. And they're seeing an uptick in business like they've never seen before. So,
Is there a codon for that?
We don't have anything for teeth and gums. We do have something just called Vibrant Health. And so, that's going to be useful to a small percentage with teeth and gums. Yeah, I don't have a good one for teeth and gums. I would say don't wear a mask.
I have it's called a Wellness Pro. It's kind of like a Rife machine, but it's not exactly that.
Mhm.
What frequencies specifically between 741, 528, 369 and 963 and 693? What ones would you recommend? Because I can program the machine with whatever frequencies I like.
All right, let me see if I have anything. I do have a lot of code. I do have a lot of frequencies. Lots and lots and lots. I have a
Well,
computer.
if you send them to Lara, she can send them to me. You don't have to do it now.
All right, I'll try to remember that and get that for you, because I'm pretty sure I do have something for teeth and gums. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's
You're
lovely to talk to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think, like if you don't have a coding yet for teeth and gums, Angie, you might want to create one.
Well, I don't create them. The Pleiadians do, but
Right.
yeah, I have one for putting out forest fires, but I don't have one for teeth and gums.
All right, we're gonna go to Tanya. Tanya, you have a question for Angie?
Hello, Angie. Hello, Lara. Yeah, do you hear me? Yes?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So my question is strange a bit. I broke a tendon on my pinky. You see how it looks.
Oh yeah.
More than a month ago. And they gave me plastic thing to put on. And they said, wait until it grows back and we will check on you after 1 month. After not having any calls from them, anything, I called back to the hospital and I asked about my, why nobody called me. She said, oh, I'm sorry, but I cannot find even your name. I thought that was strange. But she said, please go to your GP and he will, make it go further. So I went to my GP and she said, strange, I can't even find the X-ray from your finger. And I thought to myself, because somebody told me already that, usually people do operations on the fingers because, it's very difficult to grow back and stuff. And I think to myself, why everything disappeared? Is it the kind of like message to tell me that actually it will grow back? It doesn't look well though. And I cannot, because I'm a professional violinist, I cannot play. And it hurts also if I touch it or I hit on something. So I'm kind of going around with, I'm working also, and I kind of still wear this plastic piece because I don't feel comfortable without it. So I just wanted to ask you if there anything I can use to heal it, to help heal it, or
Okay.
is it?
Did you say it was a detached tendon?
No, I broke it.
Oh, you broke it.
I broke it by doing stupid thing, and then just my finger got put.
Can you hold it up to the camera? Hold it up to the camera. That's a pinky?
Yeah. Yes, it is a pinky. And that's on the top, it is broken, if you see.
Okay, so what I'm seeing with it right now is there's a lot of inflammation inside.
Okay.
The break is healing. You've still got a couple weeks to go though on the break. And then you're going to have to do physical therapy, which you can do yourself, of straightening it, just straightening it, smoothing it. And you're going to want to do this multiple times a day to get the ligaments and the tendons straightened back out. But it does look like it's healing pretty decently.
Oh, thank
but
you.
you've still got a couple weeks to go. You've got
Oh,
about
thank
2
you
more
so
weeks.
much.
And then you want to start stretching out the ligaments and the tendons and stuff like
Oh,
that.
thank you. It just it's such a big relief because I didn't look forward to do operation or something. Thanks you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
No,
you.
it's healing up. It looks pretty well. It is inflamed though, like maybe.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, are you bumping it and stuff a bit?
No, but if, you know, because I even to bend it, you know, it kind of hurts a bit. And because sometimes I do something in the kitchen even, and I touch it to something, to any surface, and it kind of, I can feel maybe because when I broke it, it didn't hurt at all. So I thought, why does it hurt now?
So
So
if
maybe
I was you, in your position, because I healed my arm. I didn't go to a doctor. I broke my arm. In fact, one of my students in the mystery school, after I did that, he made the same choice as well and healed his own break. So what I would do is I would actually tape it to the finger next to it for support.
Oh,
Yeah. And it'll speed the healing. Because when you're moving it, you know, it doesn't help the break that much. So yeah, in these last 2 weeks, just kind of tape it together to the finger next to it to support it. And that'll help you remember it's broken as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanya. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
So are there any suggestions for increasing oxygen flow throughout our bodies?
Yeah, there's a mudra for that. Singing is a really, really good one. So mudras, which are handheld positions, which if you have a private session with me, I can teach you how to do those. Singing is a good one. Stiff walks. You want anything that makes you breathe more than you normally do. If you're having problem losing sensation in your skin and stuff, you can smack your skin smartly. This is actually really good for you. Do this. And it will increase the flow throughout your skin and your muscles and your tendons. So really use your lungs more. As adults, we tend to breathe up in this part of our lung. And we forget how we breathed when we were children. But when we were children, we breathe from our stomach, and our little stomachs would just go. And when you do that kind of deep breathing, you're pulling oxygen more into your whole system. This breathing up here is stressful. And you don't get as much oxygen, and it creates a certain level of stress in your body. So focusing on the correct breathing and doing types of exercises and work and singing and things like that force you to use your lungs more. And then if you're finding that you're losing sensation in toes, fingers, or skin, your extremities, activate them, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Great
my
question.
quick advice.
Yeah, great question, Linda. Thank you. All right, Destiny has a question. I'm not sure what the question is per se, but Destiny, you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah.
The codums have 3 different codums for increasing for lungs and oxygen absorption.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Destiny, what's your question for Angie?
I was wondering if Angie could help me I feel like there's like a lot of block, like my head feels really congested. And I'm wondering how I get down into my heart. Like what is in the way of me getting fully down into my heart?
Yeah, so it looks like what's happening is you're kind of creating a little bit of a traffic jam with your thoughts. There's a lot of repetitive thinking that's happening, and that's just kind of creating a, big traffic congestion here that is just kind of hard to penetrate through. So, do you meditate?
Not as much as I should.
Okay. Meditation helps, just stopping our brain, getting those hamsters off the wheel really helps a lot. A good cleansing and purifying would get rid of a lot of that for you.
Oh,
And it looks like you travel a lot in your sleep as well. Are you aware of astral traveling?
yeah, but I tell my body not to do that.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's some bad neighborhoods in the astral. So you always want to go to sleep in a really high vibration so that you don't get to the bad neighborhoods. If you go to sleep upset, angry, depressed, any of that, you end up in the bad neighborhoods and, you get ickies.
So I need like a clearing for ickies.
Yeah, I think that would really benefit you. And then also, some good music or positive shows or programs, things that make you feel really good just before you go to bed. And that'll help you control at least what level of the astral you go to. And we all travel out of body at night. So don't,
No, I know, but I'm like kind of over this. Like, I feel like I've been working on this for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's our soul path, right? when we can't clear it and it doesn't go away really easily, it's literally often the thing that we intended to work on this lifetime.
Well, good luck with that, Destiny.
Thank you.
Keep
Appreciate
doing
it.
the processes that we've shared on the show before. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So there's a question from Barbara, and I know there's a question from Angela, and I missed it somewhere. I'll get back to it. Barbara is saying, is there something for the skin issue I have on my right ankle?
So, are you at some point getting little blisters and then they kind of dry up and flake and stuff like that? Is that what's happening with that? Oh, okay. You might not be able to answer me. If you are,
yes, in the past, yes.
yes,
And
okay.
it sometimes even looked like raw hamburger meat, and it's been going on dry and psoriasis looking for anything between 5 and 7 years now.
Okay. So what you want to do is you need to get ocean water. Okay. Sea salt is, if you absolutely can't get ocean water, it's better than nothing. But if you can get actual ocean water, if you live anywhere near an ocean and can just go fill up a bunch of jugs, soak your ankle in it, just, a pan, put your foot in there for 30 minutes twice a day, and it's likely it will cure it. But ocean water from a clean area of the ocean.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. That's interesting. Thank you, Barbara. But in a pinch, sea salt, but ocean water. If you're anywhere near the ocean, that'd be great. Manisha, you have yourself unmuted. Did you mean to be unmuted? She's like, no. She must be having issues with her mic. Okay. All right. So I want to take a minute and talk about the packages, Angie, and then we'll come back and see if there's any more questions.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions in the chat. Maybe we can answer some of those since we don't have a timeline today for you.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I got most of them, but maybe there's some that were sent specifically to you, which it can also happen. So I'm going to share my screen to give me 1 second. All right, so the packages from Angie, there are 3 packages, A, B, and C. They include crystalline transmissions, med kits, and the package C includes a personal session, right? So
Yeah, and an extra codem transmission.
Yeah. Did I miss it? I think there's, yeah, maybe I missed it here, but we'll see. So package A is 3 crystalline transmissions, right? I forget. 3 and then 1 codem. So let's talk a little bit about these crystalline transmissions, what they are exactly, and how they can help us, just really generally. And then the health and wellness codem, the medkit 1.
Okay. So the crystal transmissions, and in the descriptions, I put what it does for your health and wellness first, so you don't have to dig through the description. And then, but if you'll notice, there's other things. So like the conscious expansion, if you'll read the 3rd paragraph, acts to stimulate benevolence, integrity, inspiration, enthusiasm, optimism, physical and emotional stability, promotes and opens and energizes the 3rd eye, promotes 2nd sight, etc. So the rule with crystal arrays is it's like water going across the ground. Water going across the ground is going to fill in the divot, okay, before it moves on. That's what crystalline energy does. So most of the crystal energy is actually going to go to your body, but anything that's left over, so meaning if you're not sick and you're not using this crystal array for to heal your body, it's going to start doing things like opening your 3rd eye, stimulating 2nd sight, developing precognition, visionary experiences, channeling. The energy, then it's filled in the other divots and it keeps moving. And so you can listen to these again and again and again and get more out of it.
Awesome. So that was the first one, just briefly about the conscious expansion. Next one is the Pluto crystalline transmission. And I noticed that some of these transmissions have to do with the planets like Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune. So what's with that?
That's the naming convention that the woman who developed the system, who I became a master Crystologist underneath, the way the crystals are laid out, these are based on diagrams.
Okay, got
they
it.
create circuits, like diagrams, circuits of energy. The energy will move in certain ways, stimulating different parts of us. And some of these are like the Greek figure for Pluto or for Saturn or for whatever. And she worked with hundreds and hundreds of people, and people would fill out these huge questionnaires after they had a crystal array. And, this is how she figured out that these different symbols, if we ran energy in them in certain ways, had all these effects.
Got it. Okay, cool. So then there's the Pluto crystal array, and then there's the Mercury crystalline transmission, the Mercury crystal array as well. And then there's the health and wellness code is medkit 1. So so let's talk a little bit about the health and wellness, because we're talking about health and wellness, really on this call today. So it's a
beautiful video, and it's going to have a codem in it for each of these different things. So the vibrant health codem, for that one, when you say the activate, enhance, amplify, expand, you want to do the Spock thing, okay? And so you just hold your fingers like this, and energy starts pouring in, and you'll feel it pouring in. And you just hold that open for as long as you want the energy. And so that's cool. A little unique one right there. But you've also got a codem for adrenal and overall health, quick healing and recovering. There's one that reverses the effects of being blasted by 60 hertz, which you talked about earlier. There's one that helps structure the water inside of your body. You can also play this codem to, jugs of water and your house plants and your fruit and vegetables, and it will return the water to artesian state inside of all those things.
Awesome.
So yeah, lots of different ones. If there's things you don't need, like you're a guy and you don't need the one for menstrual cramps, just don't say activate, enhance, amplify, expand, and the energy will pass you by. Okay.
Got it. Perfect. So that's package A, and I included in here a little bit about the crystal arrays and all that, just so you all have information about it. And then package B includes everything in package A, plus the Sun Medicine Circle, crystalline transmission, the Neptune crystalline transmission, the Jupiter crystalline transmission, as well as another codem, the Health and Wellness Codem Medkit 2. So that's package B. Is there anything you wanted to say about that?
Scroll down a little bit more. I'll see if there's anything special in that one. Oh, this is an interesting one for stabilizing the cellular structure while continuing to move through these new energies. That one's really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the rest are just really med kit. I mean,
Yeah.
that's med kit right there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody was talking about the yeast candida problems. This might be useful for you. The GERD issue caused by the drug imetarazole. That's very specific that the Palladians gave us that. But it allows the stomach to naturally bring in the enzymes and whatever it needs to rebalance. That might help you along with other things. I'm not saying it's going to be a cure, but it might be supportive because I'm getting imbalance for you on the overproduction of the candida yeast.
Awesome. So that's package B, and then package C is everything in package A and B, plus another codem, the MedKit 3, and a 55-minute personal session with Angie. So is there anything about this MedKit that would be useful to know? I'm reading it to myself.
So the optimizing and balancing the auric field and the chakras helps you to hold healings better. But if you do this one regularly, it also helps you to not get sick as often as well. So this is just a really good energetic, vitamin, nutrient, energetic support for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then the personal session with you, what can people expect in the personal session with you?
I used to be able to explain that really well, but basically you've got 15 minutes for me to help you in whatever way that I can. And I'm a healer, I'm a psychic, I'm a medical intuit, I teach the esoteric traditions, and occasionally I'm wise.
Yes, occasionally. So package C is also available, and all three of these packages are available in 2- and 3-part payment plans. And if you aren't Inner Circle member, free or VIP, please do take advantage of your 10 or 25% gift code from me. So then package A, package B, package C, please do take a look at them, see which one resonates, see which one you would like to work with. I've worked with Angie in the past, and the session was powerful, really, really powerful. Because in the session too, Angie, you were transmitting all these different codems, and they were outstanding, I have to say. So I was really impressed. So if you can get a session with Angie, great. If not, at least get package A or B. At least then you can start working with the codems. You can start working with the transmissions, the crystal arrays, and start to see a difference in your vitality, in your life, in your health and well-being.
And specialized codems is something I can help you with in the private session as well. I have a lot. I have hundreds.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's some more questions in the chat.
Okay.
Let me see. There's one from Manisha. She said, I would like to check with Angie for my insight, please. I went to Egypt 6.5 years ago and was swimming in the pool, and my skin became 7 to 8 shades darker. Some reaction from the chlorine. So she's going to connect via her phone in a second. So yeah, if you have any insight for her.
I don't think it was the chlorine. It was something else in the water. I'm almost getting like something like a copper sulfate. Which should over time lessen. It could take quite a very long time though. Have you had any lightening of your skin in the last 7 or 8 years? No, you haven't.
No.
I'll be darned. That's a really unique one.
It's just mostly on my face. My body started to lighten on my face, and part of my hand not yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting it was something like a copper sulfate, something like that. It was a mineral. And I'm not sure why it's clinging in those areas of the body and the other areas are releasing it. But I don't have a solution. Let me check 1 second longer here. Do you do any mask, like oatmeal mask or clay mask, anything like that? No. You might try some clay mask to try to, pull it out more and more and more, since it seemed to settle in those areas. It's a detoxing thing that you need. Yeah.
Awesome. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're
Thank you, Manisha. All right, Melinda, I'm so glad to see you're still looking. Oh, thank you, Melinda. Shining on. Yes, absolutely. Still shining. So Angela's question from before that I missed was regarding a heart and throat scan and what would help. Also, can Kodems or crystals help heart issues too?
Oh, yes. The crystal arrays are profound with heart issues. And if you look, there's a number of them that do a variety of different things with the heart. Yeah, really good with them, actually. And then, okay, what was the first part of that question, Laura?
She just wanted if you could do a scan of her heart and throat, I guess.
Okay, wait, can you connect me to the name again?
Angela.
All right, so there's not as much energy around the heart as I would like to see. I'd like to see it getting a little bit more, maybe more exercise or something. It just it doesn't seem like it's getting pushed enough or something like that. It's just not energetically as active as I would want it to see. And it looks like in the throat area up in here, I'm seeing an irritation of some sort. Yeah. So in that, so if we had a one-on-one session and there's certain steps that we could take, I could connect better to you to see more. So you're getting kind of vague things because I'm doing it off of a first name, and there may be other people listening or watching, and I'm getting other Angelas, and I'm an Angela. And so I just want you to understand that we're just doing really brief scans. So I don't know if that was helpful for you or not, but I am showing that those are both areas that could use a little something extra. Some support and help. Kodems will not Kodems, but the crystal arrays will absolutely help the heart. There is some Kodems that work around the throat as well too, and it could be the crystal arrays too. Take a look at those. There's a lot of different things they do, and there may be one that gives throat support as well.
Yeah, so check the special offer page, see what is written for each of those crystal arrays, transmissions, as well as the Kodems, and see what is calling out to you, okay? And Sarah is asking any insight for me on what is needed for my healing. She's recovering from an accident.
Okay, what was her name again?
Sarah.
All right. Was there some fractures or tendon ligament damage in this accident?
Broke her hip.
Oh, well, that's why I'm looking at the hip. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of bones were broken, and I have titanium in me now.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So I'm getting that you need some supplement support, like gelatin, things that help grow bone marrow, or things that help grow bone.
I do take melatonin, strontium. I mean, not melatonin, strontium, K2, D3. I take a lot of bone building stuff.
You do. You are. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you a vegetarian, or can you
No, I'm not. And I take
bone broth?
on Elizabeth Wood's advice, I take ancestral, whatever it is called. I take their beef organs.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, you're doing good things here. It looks pretty painful, and it looks like it's going to take a little while.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out why it happened and what I'm supposed to gain from it, but it's a long conversation.
Yeah. When things like that happen with me, I figure I'm just being humble so that I can be more compassionate with other people.
I know, that's what I thought on the first 3 times I got hit.
Yeah, right. I know.
I have done that. I just don't know why it's happening again.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Thank you.
bless your heart. Bless your heart. All right. Keep
Yeah.
being good to you, and you'll heal up.
I have a question about the last package I bought. I don't know why, for some reason, I can't give you specifics, so this is probably a useless question. I just couldn't find all the codons. It just got all jumbled for me. So I love your work, but the last package I bought, I just felt like I couldn't find the pieces I needed.
Oh, you know what I do is I keep a file on my desktop, that will say whatever, just codums and crystal arrays, and put them in there so that I'm not having to, because it is a nightmare trying to dig around in my computer.
Yeah, I agree. You have to be so organized. I totally agree.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Good luck. Feel better.
I hope
you.
you find them, and if you don't, email me and let me know which ones they were, and I'll resend them to you, Sarah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
It's not okay to buy things and not have them, so you just let me know.
I've heard that sometimes it's a repayment to a healer that did something for you in a past lifetime, and you don't listen to all their recordings, but somehow you still owed them an energy exchange, so you send them some money in this lifetime.
I got a check for $300 from somebody the other day, so maybe, which I happen to know she had stage 4 cancer metastasized and was sent home to die, and I did a miraculous healing on her, and so that was years ago, and so sometimes she's like, I just feel like sending you something, and she does. So
Oh, nice. Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah. All right. Anything else coming up for anybody? Anything else you want to share, Angie? I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. And maybe somebody sent you a question, Angie, privately.
Yeah, I saw a whole lot of things, and there was a few things.
I don't think I missed anything. I did pretty good. Yeah, I'm good. I didn't miss anything. Was your awakening an easy process or gradual and challenging?
No, it was a radical, spontaneous Kundalini awakening, and it completely destroyed my life. It was
not easy.
I'm pretty sure that, well, I know I have some, oh my goodness, Guy, hi dear. A dear friend.
Yeah, he's lucky. I just happened to look at my email. Otherwise, I don't normally see my emails when I'm doing a show. So, and I sent him the Zoom info right away.
Yeah, I think I was probably so traumatized about it that I really don't, encourage anybody to do that. Just it doesn't matter. It's not a race. We live forever. We're eternal beings.
Gradual and easy is what we want. We don't want spontaneous, life-changing, yeah. So ask that your awakening also be gradual and easy. It doesn't have to be mind-blowing, earth-shattering, right? We can ask for that. I think I've said this before. You can ask. How far out is Angie on one-on-one sessions?
I am, well, right now I could be booking for next Tuesday. I think I'm booked out until then.
That's not bad. I know there are some people, it's like months in advance. So it's like, yeah, which, like I can do 1 month, it's 3 months, 4 months. Like, I don't even know what question I had.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you'd like to get it.
And I may have a couple openings even on this Thursday. So.
And just remember, this is Easter weekend as well, everyone. So for those of you celebrating, or for those who just, enjoy the holiday,
Yeah.
I had to be so careful. I was so rude yesterday on my own inner circle membership call. I was so rude. It's like, oh my God, I have to be nicer, more gentle. But I wasn't rude, but I was not thoughtful, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, there was some unique energies. I was quite short on Facebook with some people. I had people posting inappropriate artwork showing women's body parts, and it just, I don't know. I finally like, okay, I'm done. This is not why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. So Guy, did you have a question? Since you just were able to jump on now, did you have a question for Angie, or are you good?
I don't have any questions. I don't even know why I joined this, but that's okay. That's my gut feeling.
Because you love me, Guy, and I love you.
That is great. Right on.
He gets to join me every Tuesday night for Tuesday night meditation. And
okay.
We actually do kodams and mudras and silent meditation, and it's really powerful. And the group is starting to really bond in community. And when we first started about a year ago, when I would ask if people had concerns or needs so they could, sculpt the kodams or sculpt the mudras to those, everybody would have their hands up. And now I ask and everybody's just like, no, I feel great. I'm doing good.
So because we do have a few minutes, Angie, can you share, transmit a kodam or a crystal array for us? So that, because some people may not have had that experience, because we've done that on previous shows, I think.
We have, and you know what? Let me get them up. I get my kodam list up, and I will put together an 8-ball of energy.
Awesome.
And give me one moment. You can make small talk.
I'm usually really good at small talking around, but I'm like also like, just relaxed and anticipating and just waiting to receive. So that is something that you all want to do, be willing to receive, right? So when you're on these calls, all of you who are live and who are watching later on the replay, be willing to receive the healing, the process, whatever it happens to be that's for your highest good, right? And so the more that you're willing to receive for yourself, really what you're doing is telling your soul, yourself, your body, your ego, whatever, I love you. I care for you. I'm supporting you. Okay. So be willing to receive instead of just saying, well, I don't know if I want this. There are some things you may not want for sure. Right. But on the whole, be receptive, right? And ask yourself, is this going to serve me? Is this going to help me in some way? Is this going to expand my consciousness, awaken me to more of who I am? Is this going to help me, in a healthy way? We're probably going to do a health kodam, I think, of some sort, right? Give me more access to myself, etc. Right? So let's be willing to receive consciously and unconsciously that whatever is for your highest good. See, I can talk about anything my husband always says, you can talk about anything for an hour. And he gave me a topic and it's like, I cannot talk about that. Go ahead, Guy, sorry.
Maybe you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand. I understand the reason for such a question, because as far as I'm concerned, when you get it, you find it, and that's it. You don't search; it comes.
It comes. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're receptive, you will receive it anyways. Absolutely. Angie, what were you going to say? Oh, go ahead, Guy.
As I said, I joined this because I have a good feeling I'm going to get something out of it. What? Don't ask me. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to get out of this.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's the way I live.
Yeah. You're going to get something out of it. If you were called to be here, you're going to get something out of it.
Can you lead everybody in kind of a centering light meditation? I'm going to be delivering these in just a moment, so we'll get everybody in a receptive way to receive them.
Sure. So Guy, I'm just going to go ahead and mute you 1 second. All right. So everyone just take a deep breath. Take a few deep breaths. Be in your heart space. Expand out a little bit the best you can. And if you want, you can put your hands on your heart chakra so that you're physically here as well and being present, and you're connecting to yourself, to your soul, to your heart, to your body. And just follow your breath for a moment. Just be aware of your breath for a moment. Get out of your head. For those of us who like to live in our heads, just get out of your head. Come back down to your heart. Expand out. You can also ground, right? Have those roots going deep into the ground, deep, deep, deep down into the heart chakra of Mother Earth. So you are fully present here.
All right, these totems are ready for delivery. Thank you, Alara. So these basically are going to open the chakras, balance the field, and uplift the biomorphic field. I did throw in a little extra totem here to open all 12 chakras and raise them to a higher frequency. So I'm going to let you guys sit in this energy for a little bit, and then that one I'll be turning back off again. And here comes this energy now. Take an inhalation and say with me, activate. Inhale. Enhance. Inhale. Amplify. Inhale. Expand. Just sit with that for a little bit. All right, I'm going to close the one totem now. Activate, enhance, amplify, expand. And the rest of the energies will stay active in your system for the next 7 to 9 days, and enjoy. Right, got some yawning going there with no energies.
Yes, thank you. And it's interesting. I was guided to have my hands like this when I never ever do. I never do.
Okay.
I'm usually in the Gyan Mudra, but I was guided to just be like this. So it's like, okay, I'm receiving. However, I want to receive. Oh my goodness, how is everybody doing? Yeah, I was definitely yawning.
Yeah.
Natalia says, powerful, thank you, drifting off to sleep. I think you're in the UK, so it is late for you, right?
So there was one to uplift the biomorphic field. So there was a frequency change involved. And that's when we start yawning a lot, is when we're changing frequencies. So always a good sign.
Yes, yes. And yawning is it's a sign for you that things are shifting, things are changing. Manisha says, thank you, Laura. Thank you, Angie, for today's amazing show. Feeling empowered after Angie's process. Good. I'm glad. Yes, bedtime. Oh, goodness. Anybody else? How are you all doing? Oh, and for those of you who are watching later on the replay, how are you doing? Let us know in the comments how you're doing, okay? But any advice now, any suggestions on how to move forward? You said this is going to continue for 7 to 9 days?
Yes, and this was just really opening the chakras, balancing them, a little bit of detoxing and cleaning on him. So your field will just be a little bit bigger. You'll feel a little better. So nothing big and profound, but something very good for you.
Yeah. So I'll always drink water. That always helps to integrate the new energies and any or releasing that may be happening. Right. I always say drink water, go outside, get some fresh air. It's always helpful. Good, awesome. And of course, please do see I'm no longer functioning now after that.
Sorry, I tried to go really easy.
But it's what happens, right? It's like, okay, I can't talk as well. I mean, eventually I will be.
On our Tuesday night sessions, when we do the totems and we do meditation, we just kind of drill on ourselves, Hungy.
Oh, goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And so if you'd like to work with Angie more, you can, work with her personally in the private session or through her crystal arrays and totems in package A or B. Please do take advantage of them. And like I said, there are 2 and 3 part payment plans available. And if you are an Inner Circle member, free or VIP, please do take advantage of your gift code. That is a special gift from me. Please take advantage of that. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Angie. And I'm so glad you're feeling better too. You're feeling great. You said you did great during the call. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody for all your questions, comments, feedback. I just love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So until next time, we will be back tomorrow with another show. So until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always.